Gotta give me a snack too. It's popcorn. Need something to hold me over until I actually eat. Which I don't even know what that will be, y'all. So, let me not talk with my mouth full. So, we are still discussing RHOP. We're pretty much at the end of the season. We just got the finale, and then I want to give a few thoughts on what this reunion is going to bring. Because based on that trailer, ain't no telling. But I pretty much sift through everything else. But before I get into the finale, I just want to see who's gonna pop in, because you know that helps the discussion. Otherwise, I'm just on here talking to myself, which isn't a terribly big deal. But it's funner when people join the chat and we can all talk together. Okay, well, whoever decides to join can join. I'm gonna go ahead and get into this finale. So, we pretty much start off with what was discussed at the Bachelorette. Y'all know Robin's Bachelorette, where she didn't invite Karen and Wendy. They spent the majority of it talking about Karen, and Charisse, you know, bucks up and decides she's gonna go on a tirade about what Karen does and how the last time the two of them hung out, or let me put it this way, the last time me and Karen Huger hung out, she left me to go to the bathroom and fuck one of the waiters or something of that nature. And Karen Huger is always fucking somebody in some bathroom or going off to do things with people and just leaves whoever behind. Charisse, I had one thing and only one thing for you. When you see Karen, keep that same energy. And everything you just said, say it with your chest. Because you acting like Karen is that pressed and bothered over you is laughable. And then for you to, you know, act as though you were being summoned at Candace's video release party is laughable. No one's checking for you. You weren't any highlight to this season. You shouldn't even have been asked to join this season because you bring nothing. And you're lucky Karen didn't backhand you after all the shit you were talking at the Bachelorette. It's just, I don't get it, y'all. Sharice doesn't do anything for me. Correction. The only thing Sharice gave was her look at the reunion. And we can even talk about the looks of the reunion when we get to the reunion, when I'm giving my opinions on what the reunion is given before I actually see the reunion. I think that is the only thing I can say Sharice has been given or has gave. Because I mean, it's just that one time only. And we ain't even seen the reunion yet. So will we actually see her on the reunion? It might not actually give, but given the photos that have been released of the ladies' reunion looks, I will say the Sharice's look was giving. Other than that, Sharice does nothing else for me. And it's just whatever. But anywho, the ladies really didn't talk about much else but Karen at the Bachelorette, and it's very much given miserable and fake energy. So I even was looking at Candace sideways during the Bachelorette, and it goes to show that she really feels like these ladies are her friends, and she does anything and everything to be in with them. And that's all the more reason why, in that moment especially, Candace can come off fake. She can really come off fake. And it just is ridiculous and pathetic to me that these ladies have nothing else going on and nothing else to talk about but Karen. And then what? We talk about Michael? Fucking Gollum? Really? Because Sharice asked Ashley, so what's going on between you and Michael? Why, Sharice? They're getting a divorce. Why do any of us care, let alone want to know about anything going on between the Darbys? Good old Gollum and Stewie. So Ashley just feels like she hasn't had the time to really date because she feels like Michael isn't necessarily doing it, or maybe she said something along the lines of he's making a big deal about her dating, so she's chosen not to. Why, Ashley? If y'all are separating and getting divorced, why does it matter what he thinks? He lost that fucking privilege when y'all separated. And when y'all decided that y'all were going to get a divorce. How does he feel like he has any control over what you do with your personal life? Especially if it ain't got nothing to do with him raising these kids and being there for these kids and helping these kids continue to live their best lives. My thing would be very much that. If it ain't got nothing to do with our children, you have no room to speak on anything I decide to do with myself. Because it's me, myself, and I. It is no longer a we thing, which goes to show that it was completely unnecessary, let alone idiotic, to purchase a home with him. Using y'all's LLC, y'all got a home, and then to find out that the mortgage is 13 grand, something you can't even afford, Ashley. Like, how dumb can you possibly be? You got all this sense, but you went about this very idiotically. I just don't get it. So yeah, we desperately need to know what's going on between her and Michael. And, next to that, Candace decides to drop the bomb and say, oh, well, that's funny because he and some bitch were at the W where Chris works. Ashley is just looking dumbfounded. What's all the egg on your face, Ashley? Because you still give this man the time of day and all this extra energy and all this respect when he continuously shows you that he does not care about you. At this point, you're doing it to yourself. I mean, you're doing it to yourself. And that's not me just, being an asshole about the situation because I don't like Ashley. Sure, I don't have to like Ashley and can still, praise her for when she does what she needs to do, and rightfully so, call her out on the bullshit she decides to engage into as well, which she does more of the latter. And this is very well a situation right now where I think she's being stupid and giving Michael too much when the only thing he should be given at this point is encouragement to keep on being there for the kids. Period. Even if it just means giving me money for the kids. It's the least you should do. You helped bring these babies into the world, and you're going to continue to provide for them since you helped bring them into the world. It's the least you can do. You're their father. Not rocket science. But it's this whole idea. I mean, why do you tell me you're not doing anything when you are doing something? I mean, just be honest. That man owes you not a damn thing, Ashley. Honesty? You want honesty. Okay. You'll be waiting for the rest of your life on fucking honesty. I just feel like Ashley has made this situation slightly harder than it needs to be just because she cares too much. And again, if it ain't got nothing to do with our two children, I don't want to hear anything from you, Michael. There is nothing you can provide me. There is nothing you can say to me if it ain't got nothing to do with our two sons. And that would be it. All this feeling some type of way because it was revealed to you that he showed up to the W with another bitch. What is the shocker? Michael's a cheat. So even after the marriage, would you expect him to have some civility, have some respect when he didn't even respect you in the marriage? She's just giving him way too much. And it just is like, so why are y'all divorcing? If you still are thinking he's going to be respectful. He wasn't respectful to you then. Sorry, y'all, I dropped a piece of popcorn. So I don't know what her thought process is, but it's making no sense. And I understand why people really feel kind of let down when it comes to her storyline, because I think we were all expecting this huge glow up for her, and it's been a travesty. It's actually tragic. And then we learn, based on the reunion trailer, that she's not even getting alimony. Ashley, what the fuck have you been doing? You're getting nothing out of this? But what? Stress? Headaches? Heartaches? And the title of single mom? It's kind of hard for me to have that much sympathy. Again, not just because I don't like her, but because you went about this all wrong. Earlier in the season, you went and saw an attorney, a divorce attorney, or something along those lines. And she told you verbatim that it probably is not a good idea for you and Michael to get a home together, considering y'all are planning on getting a divorce. And what did you do? You still went and got a home with him using y'all's LLC, his LLC. And now what? You're stuck with the fucking mortgage of 13 grand that you can't even afford? How does any of that make sense, Ashley? I don't know. I'm kind of done talking about that. This finale. Mia decided to tell Karen that the ladies, including herself, this is probably the one real moment that Mia showed us. The one time Mia wasn't lying, and she had probably one or two other moments during this finale where she did that. And I'm like, oh, so it damn near took until the end of the season for you to show that you can tell the truth. Okay, Mia. So she decides to tell Karen that they were all talking about her. And Karen's looking at her and was like, well, as my friend, did you defend me? Oh, you didn't defend me? Okay, well, I'm going to really have to look at you a certain way and take a step back and tell myself that I cannot tell you anything anymore because the fact that you can't defend me and I'm just like this, again, why are we taking it to preschool? Why do we feel like these other women owe us that much loyalty when at the end of the day, you too wouldn't be that loyal? So if you were there, Karen, this is where I gotta kind of, play devil's advocate a little bit and think about the fact of if it were you there instead of Mia, like say Mia was the one that didn't get invited, but you got invited. And all of you ladies decide to talk about Mia. Do you, Karen, feel like in that moment you would defend Mia? Let's be real here. Would you? I personally don't think Karen would. So all this I guess vitriol she's giving Mia in this moment and talking about how she's really not going to tell her anything anymore. Well, you should have not done that from the get-go. And secondly, what were you expecting? Why do you expect that much out of somebody? Why do any of these women expect that much loyalty when they're on a reality show for ratings to talk shit about one another? That's essentially what they do. I'm just like, Karen, I mean, you have the right to feel how you do. I mean, if you're upset, you have the right to feel upset, but I wouldn't go as far as feeling like Mia should have defended you down, because that's not even Mia's character. Mia's not going to do that. And you sure as hell wouldn't if you were in the situation. Let's just be real about it. So it's just like, I'm on your side, but I'm not that much on your side, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you sure as hell wouldn't have defended Mia. Period. Because let's go back to Miami. So if Mia were to use that against you, hey, you kind of asked for it. But that was their little phone FaceTime conversation. What's some other stuff that kind of took place in between? Oh, Giselle decided to disclose her health condition to Angel, Adore, and Grace. And I feel like this. It was a little too late for me when it comes to this was probably one of Giselle's most vulnerable moments, but she waited a little too long for me when it comes to giving these little tidbits. But I can still appreciate the scene because anytime she's with her girls, they are always going to make somewhat of a mockery out of what Giselle's going through. As sad as it was here, because this is serious, it is dealing with her health. Any opportunity her daughters get, they are going to shade the fuck out of Giselle. And here's the thing, Giselle. You're kind of showing that you're a little absent in your daughters' lives, especially when it comes to their personal health, their sexual health, what is going on with the female anatomy, teaching them how the female anatomy is, your most basic stuff when they are teenagers, because they were sitting up there talking about what this is and not really knowing what it is, and they were confusing it with other things, and you're sitting there putting your head down, but that's your fault. Because where have you been to teach them what the specific things are? It's kind of sad to watch because these are growing girls, they're teenagers, and they don't know their own body parts. How does that make any sense? You're absent. You're not doing what all you need to do to prepare these girls, especially when they start dating, which I'm sure they're already doing that. They're teenage girls. We can't expect any less. And if they're not dating, they're flirting. So boys are looking at them. And you're not doing your due diligence by teaching them about the female anatomy. You're sitting up there putting your head down like, oh my God. You should be like, oh my God, at yourself. Because where have you been to where you're not aware of what they know? I mean, as funny as the scene was, it was awfully sad too, because this shouldn't be any mother's response. It would be in that moment, if I were her, it'd be like, okay, well, let me pull out this good old textbook and we about to have a lesson. Not that any of that needs to be shown on camera. We definitely don't need to see that, but there would be no way my girls would get on camera embarrassing me like that again. It was embarrassing. At the end of the day, it's embarrassing. And Giselle should feel some type of way about that. I'd be fucking damn. But we got that scene. I think up until the video release party, it was just us catching up with all the different women and kind of like their last scene or two before getting to the video release party. Oh yeah, Mia. So it was revealed that there was nothing really wrong with her. She further exaggerated this idea that she could have had cancer. And what it was she just kept going to the doctor, having all these tests done to basically rid the possibility that she could have cancer. That's all. And if anything, it was just a rash. So, y'all want to know why Mia's a liar? It's because of situations like this. You spent all season making it seem like you possibly had cancer. And you were trying to do what you needed to do to eliminate that idea when the doctor just simply told you it was a rash. And all these tests are in place so we can definitely keep ridding the possibility of you having cancer, which means at the end of the day, bitch, you don't have cancer. So stop going around acting as though you do. tell you, that Mia. She really needs to go. If it's anyone else I would love to see get off of this show, it would be Mia. Mia just does too much for me. She just does everything to be seen, to be heard. I swear, she literally got on the show and acted as though this has been the best thing happening to her. And granted, it could. I'm not going to be one to sit up here and say that these ladies' lives don't change significantly after they get on the show. But the way she just acts like she has just made it. When you moved out of your home, according to your, end of the season card, outro card, those cards they have for the ladies at the end of the season. Given what that said, have you really made it? Seems like you're going backwards, if you ask me. I don't know. But she thought she was fooling us with this whole cancer thing. But I think she was fooling herself. Mia's just full of shit. So we've gotten that out of the way. Let's just go ahead and move into the video release party. If there's one success story this season, it is Candace and Chris, who have overcome all odds, regardless of what any hater has said about them and their relationship, their marriage, their love for one another. This video release party also proved that they are tight-knit and ain't nothing slowing them down anytime soon. Regardless of whether Ashley and her big forehead tried to, Giselle and her hating ass mouth and bad wig tried to disrupt them, Mia and her lies, Deborah and her fucking lies. And it's just so crazy that Ashley will sit up there and keep on excusing what that one has said. And then anytime Candace calls her a Sesame Street character, which she is, oh, so you're just gonna sit up here and keep talking about my very attractive friend? Why do you keep saying that, Ashley? Why do you keep on insinuating that she's actually very attractive? Not acting like that, spreading lies, perpetuating a lie, Ashley. That's attractive to you? Oh, I bet it is, coming from the monster that is you, or that monster ass forehead you carry around every week. Like, I can't. I just fucking cannot. I cannot. But despite all of that, Candace had a successful video release party. That video looks like everything. I actually will have to sit down and watch the entire video. Shout out to Trina for featuring in it. And it is nice seeing her haters just do nothing more but applaud her, even though we know secretly they're hating every minute of it. And that's okay. Haters are gonna hate. But that's not slowing Candace nor Chris down. But Candace, I'm gonna really need for you to shape up even further. This has been a complete improvement from how you would normally get when the haters would rear their ugly heads. But next season, especially if you're gonna come back, I'm gonna really need for you and Wendy both to band together and keep y'all's heels on these haters' necks. I so want to see them bring friends. I want to see Wendy with a friend. Even if these friends end up becoming housewives, I need to see people in Candace and Wendy's corner. Because I'm tired of these optics where you want to keep on having friends for the light brights. And y'all know who the light brights are. I'm tired of seeing them with friends or allies. Sharice don't even count because Sharite is really the biggest lackey of them all, but she's the queen of Potomac. How? When you following behind Giselle and Robin. Queens don't follow behind other people. If anything, they should be following behind you. But where are you at, Sharice? That's a disappointment within itself. So I don't even know why I'm still entertaining the idea of her. Good old charcuterie board. That's what I call her on social media. Charcuterie board. Because she's just there with no substance. And just a board with no meat on it. I cannot. So hopefully next season we can see a shift. And that's even if they don't end up getting rid of Robin or Giselle or even Mia. I still want to see a shift through bringing friends of Candace and Wendy. And they all need to keep their heels on the Light Brights next. If the Light Brights are going to return next season, it just is what it is. So Ashley thought it was in her best interest to bypass whatever Candace was telling her about Chris not necessarily wanting to talk about this lie, blatant lie. And she goes and confronts Chris. And it's just like, Candace, this is where you need to step up. For real. No means fucking no. And Candace is a good one. Because if I were Candace, it would have taken everything in me not to fucking take my hand and caress it around Ashley's hair and just yank the hell out of her. How do you go to somebody's event and tell them, oh, even though you told me it's probably not best to talk to your husband, I'm still going to talk to him anyways? How do you do that? Where do people do that? See, Ashley must have not gotten in many fights growing up because the way she acts is just like she's just aloof and just oblivious to reading the room and common courtesy and common decency for one thing, and common respect. And Candace, again, if you continue to be with this bitch as friends, if y'all continue to try to be friends, I'm gonna really have a problem with you. Because there is no way you can continue to let this woman disrespect you and still act as though you and Ashley, or you and her, because I'm talking about her, are working on being friends. There's just no way we're going to continue this narrative. There's no way after she has repeatedly made you look like a fool. And even though you weren't looking as foolish here, because I get it, you're at your event. You're not going to cause a scene, and you're definitely not going to let another bitch like Ashley, for one, throw you off on your day. So you did what you needed to do for that moment, but baby, it still would not be me. Ashley would have gotten cussed the fuck out, and she would have been escorted out. Period. Because when I say you're not talking to my husband, you're not talking to my husband. And that's even if he was open to talking to you. Sorry. Because no means fucking no. And you've spent all season disrespecting me. And you're not just disrespecting me, you're disrespecting my husband, you're disrespecting my friends and family that are here for us, you're disrespecting this place. You're just being overtly disrespectful, and I have a problem with it. So you got to get the fuck out, even by force, if necessary. Like, what the hell? I don't get it. I don't get it. If I've not said that enough, I'm saying it again. I don't understand any of this. And I have to look at Candace crazy because it's just like, you're allowing it. Sure, I don't expect you to go hell bent out of your way to make it known that you did not want Ashley to do that and you did not like how disrespectful she is. But at the same time, it's just like, you still didn't do enough for me. And then, of course, she riles up Chris and he has to walk away. And it's just like, did we see that going any other way? But Ashley just needs to be popped one good time. And that's why I said growing up, she must not have gotten into many arguments and damn near physical arguments with people. Because the way she just carries herself is just like, she is so displaced from reality and how to handle people and just common respect, common courtesy, common decency. She's not there when it comes to those type of things. And that's all the more reason why I'm just like, well, she would have learned that day. She would have learned that day after I done mugged her one good time. I don't care who would have saw it, because it's just like, no, bitch. If I say don't talk to my husband, then that means don't talk to my husband. I don't care how childish you feel it is. You're being childish. They had the nerve to be doing fucking TikTok dances either before she walked in the event or after. But I don't know. I saw the TikTok of her doing dances in the same outfit she wore during this party. Now you want to talk about, well, I feel like Chris is being childish. Whatever the fuck she said. You're childish, bitch. Childish as fuck. Stay off TikTok. Shit. One of the last things that did happen during this party was Giselle, bad wig herself, spinning this idea that, even though all of them were talking about Karen, it's this idea that because Mia was asking, were they insinuating that Karen was a prostitute, that meant that Mia brought up the fact that she thinks Karen's a prostitute. While in her confessional, she's so giddy about the fact that she was being messy by bringing that up. She just wanted to spin the narrative. She wanted to exaggerate. And I'm just like, and this is the one y'all say needs to stay on the show, because without her, there wouldn't be a show. Like, what? Giselle has nothing else going on. So that's why she opts to doing crazy ass childish shit like this. As a 50-something-year-old woman, you feel like you have to be this way? No wonder you can't get a man. Ain't no man wanting to be bothered by this. You thought it was funny and cute to say in your confessional, oh yeah, I like to stir the pot. I like to exaggerate. I'm messy. I just wanted to just do this just because. Really, ma'am? Giselle, what else is going on in your life? Do you have anything else going on in your life? Or do you just get off of the fact that you're allowed to do this? She's definitely one that they keep around, they keep rewarding. It ain't just robbing, y'all. Giselle is probably the main one, Bravo fucking. They just suck on that woman's tits. I said what I said. Because Giselle's not had a storyline probably since season 2. By proxy of Monique, if we're going to be real. Monique came on the scene, and because Monique told her she didn't just have one home, she didn't just have 2 homes, she had 4 homes. Yeah. But the fans love Giselle enough to where they'll sit up on social media and talk about, oh, if she were to leave the show wouldn't be anything. Really? How does one who brings nothing to the table leave the show and the show goes downhill? And everybody believes because she left the show went downhill. How when she brings nothing? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. And that's why anything I see regarding that, I just sit to myself and think, are people dumb? Because in what reality does any of that make sense? So a person can be on a show, not give anything, still be asked back on the show. Then, if for whatever reason is asked to leave the show will go downhill. The show will just tank, even though this person has brought nothing thus far. It's been seasons worth of them not bringing anything. But the show is still going to tank because they left. Like, what? Huh? Where they do that at? How does that work? What type of algorithm is that? I can't, y'all. I cannot, JBs. So, it was this whole idea that Mia, made it known that she felt like Karen was a prostitute. And it's at this point, the Light Brights are doing anything necessary to get Karen to, I don't know, fess up to something. Eventually, Karen leaves. And this was definitely after Mia confronted her about what she supposedly heard Karen did with some waiter at some restaurant. And even though Karen was making faces that do kind of make her look guilty, she also told Mia, I'm not even about to entertain this because what you're even talking about, I've called that specific restaurant and they told me that you were not there at any point. They don't even know who you are. So how are you talking about what you heard when you haven't even frequented at this specific restaurant? I don't know, y'all. But if we're going to spend any more time talking about Karen's escapades, since we're just all of a sudden in Karen's cooch this season, I don't get it. It's giving me weirdology 101. Like, y'all further approving y'all have nothing else going on, that y'all gotta be in another woman's panties and make the most out of that. That's y'all's storyline, essentially. It has nothing to do with you. It's just, weird as fuck. But it's just like, if we're going to continue to talk about this, I would really like for Karen to clear it up once and for all, because I'm bored, I'm tired, and it's time to move on to something else. And if this is going to constantly be part of Karen's storyline, she can also go. Because I'm not going to want to keep watching a show where she just keeps running away from the situation and not clearing it the fuck up. You don't have to talk about it, but that's all the more reason why you should just clear the fuck up. Pull up your own receipts. Pull up how you can, you asked the restaurant about Mia and whether she was there trying to dig dirt up on you, and, shut it down once and for all. But Karen, if this taught you anything, if you've learned nothing else about Mia, this should have definitely told you this about Mia. She's not your fucking friend. If she had to go down to the specific restaurant to find dirt on you, instead of, asking you personally beforehand, she's not your fucking friend. So, if you want to still go around Potomac acting like Mia is your friend, then you're just asking for problems, because Mia's not your friend, Karen. And I think you're getting a little too old. You are too old to be feeling this way about women like Mia and Giselle and Robin. Period. So, Karen and Ray, they end up leaving. So, Karen's little last scene was a flower in her place. They're so fucking shady. So fucking shady. And, of course, we got the wedding segment, fake wedding segment, I should say, when it comes to Robin and Juan. I mean, I already spent the latter part of my last live talking about how all that is and how it's being portrayed and my overall thoughts about that. So I'm not even going to regurgitate that. Robin is a joke, and Robin can happily get off of the show, even if it starts with a demotion. I just feel like if you play viewers the way you played us, and then play some of us even further by charging us to get tea, you could have easily shared with us on this platform, the platform that actually pays you and consistently pays you. Reasonably Dusty is just now paying you, if we're going to be real. It ain't something that has been around for a while. It just started up last year, last season. Hell, probably the season before that, since they technically film a year in advance before it airs, that particular season. But really, you felt like that was a smart move, all the while perpetuating an even bigger lie when it comes to Chris and Candace. And I keep on saying she has perpetuated that because she didn't tell Giselle nor Ashley to stop. And those are her homegirls. She said something along the lines of, I don't necessarily agree with where Giselle is coming from, but you didn't tell Giselle she should stop. You kept letting her do it and sat idly by and watched her do it. And you definitely have allowed Ashley to do what the fuck she's been doing. Hell, you were there at the video release party when Ashley's big forehead decided to go up and talk to Chris after Candace asked her not to. So come on now, Robin. You're not innocent. I mean, I'm not saying you need to go around for the rest of your life feeling like a forever victim because of what Juan did. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, Juan's actions are his own actions. And no, it should not, you know, make Robin feel like she's responsible for that. Like, sure, that's her husband now, but she's not responsible for his actions, if that makes sense. I can't sit up there and say that she is expected and she needs to be responsible for his actions. But the only thing you are responsible for is sharing your life because you're on this reality show. Juan's not on this reality show. Not like you. You signed up for it. He just comes along with it, just like your kids come along with it. They didn't sign up to be on the show. So that's where she needs to take more responsibility because you had every opportunity to share that because that's partly why you're on the show, to share your life, the good and the bad. Otherwise, what are we doing? Why are you even on the show? Especially if you're going to get on another show that you help create and pay people to listen to the show in order to give this tea. Like, what? That's not okay. But I think I have ran that into the mud. We are going to get into the reunion looks, and then we'll talk a little bit about what this reunion appears to be given, and then I'm gonna leave y'all to it and do some other stuff before I have to go to work later tonight. I'd like to watch some stuff, catch up on some videos here on these YouTube streets, and just chill before I have to prepare to clock in tonight at the good old Amazon. But these reunion looks, I will say that these are probably their best looks. Granted, last season's looks were pretty decent. I think this will probably be where, if not their best, definitely second. I'm back and forth on which reunion looks I like more. And that's between last season's and this season's reunion looks. So, best of the best out of this year's is Candace for me. I think Candace ate her look down. I loved her hair. It's something about the blonde she has in her hair, which I don't think I have seen Candace with that type of hair, longer at least. If she's done blonde, it's been like those bobs she likes having. Like she's notorious for wearing these bobs now. But I did like Candace's hair. I definitely liked her dress. I felt like that was first seat worthy because we do know that she did not earn first seat this year, even though most of the season was about her and Chris. So I don't know why that couldn't earn her first seat. It's very weird how Bravo does these seating arrangements these days, because another one I think about is Atlanta. I don't understand how you seat two women that don't get along next to each other. It just made more sense. If I'm going to talk about Atlanta real quick, it made more sense to have the alliances sitting on the same couch. And ain't it crazy to be up here talking about alliances when it's supposed to be a fucking friend group? Why do we have alliances? That is something that beats me, JBs. I don't get that at all. Why are we in this time of alliances? Why is that a thing? It makes no sense to me. But back to Potomac. Loved Candace's dress. After her, I would say Wendy's dress does it for me. And I was already like kind of pitting the two of them together as far as who had the better look. But I think when it comes down to it, it's Candace and then Wendy's. For one, I love Wendy's hair. I love when she does the jet black hair. That's just a staple for her. There's not been a look yet where she's had jet black hair and the look just didn't do it for me. Anytime she rocks that jet black hair, however she styles her hair, she does it for me. That, accentuates her look. It adds on to her look. It's the most natural. And it was very much that when it came to this reunion look. And then I very much love the like mermaid styled dress, or not mermaid. It reminded me of and I think this is what she was going for, peacock. It gave me peacock the way it was styled, and I loved it on her. So that's her look. After her, I'm going to give it to Mia. Even though it looked like one of the dresses she would have wore if she was still working at the Lobster Serving Strip Club, it did look good on her. Her hair looked all right too. I like how she kind of had it swooped back. It really wasn't much else to it, but I did like it on her, and I think it was one of the better looks out of the wives. This ain't even including the friends, but out of the wives, I think she had one of the better looks. After her, I think I will give it to, and this is probably going against what I originally felt was the better look, but I think after Mia, I'm gonna say Giselle, and that's simply because this is probably Giselle's best look by far. Out of all 7 seasons, when it comes to the reunions, I think this was probably Giselle's best. And that is what's really putting her at the top for me. Now I changed it from Ashley being next. And the reason I changed it when it comes to Ashley is because I don't feel like this was what Ashley needed to go for. She was giving me too much of Monique and even Sonya, when Sonya kind of made us all feel like she was copying Monique. This is definitely what Ashley was doing. Ashley, I know you use Monique's stylist or old stylist. I don't even know. Basically, Monique gave her some pointers. Just because that is now what you're doing does not mean you have to completely dress like Monique. I don't feel like the hair did it for her. Her hair is what threw me off. It's like all I needed to do was see her hair, and that threw the complete look off for it. I almost wish I hadn't looked at her hair first, because then maybe I would have probably cared for her look a little bit more. But once I saw that hair, I was like, this doesn't even fit. And that ruined her look for me. Um Now, the last person I'd have to say out of the wives with the worst look, Ashley's runner up for worst look, but the worst look out of the wives goes to Robin. I mean, she's the only one I haven't said. It was too plain for me. I didn't like that she went back to her blonde when I was loving the red she was doing a lot this season. I wish she had done that. Honestly, the color of Ashley's wig, that should have been the color Robin had for her look. And I just feel like that dress needed to be styled differently. It just looked too plain for me. It looked way too plain for me. And you know what? I did miss somebody. I don't know how I missed the Grand Dame. Yeah, she's runner up. So if I were to do worst to best, it would be Robin, Karen, and then Ashley, and so forth. Karen. I think it was Karen's hair for me here too, initially. And then when I really traveled down, I realized I didn't like her dress either. I don't think it was really a lot about Karen's look that I liked. If at all, anything, when it comes to likes. I just did not care for Karen's look at all. But I do feel like it bested Robin's, because Robin, who had many attractive looks, especially in her confessionals this season, to go to the reunion and just look like plain Jane, it did nothing for me. I was just like, oh, Robin. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Mm-mm. But I was saying no, ma'am to Karen, too. So I feel like it's neck and neck between Robin and Karen when it comes to their reunion looks. And that's all I really got. Now, the friends. We got Jacqueline and we got Charcuterie Board, aka Charisse. Both stand out. I can't even compare the two because they give two completely different looks. Out of the two, though, I would say that Jacqueline looks better. Do I really expect less? Not really. I was kind of expecting Jacqueline to look better than Charisse, because Charisse is very frumpy looking and looks like she just does not give a fuck. But she did surprise me with her look. I was shocked to see this look. Now, I know a lot of people didn't necessarily care for her hair. I didn't mind her hair. I would have loved to have seen that type of hair on Karen. That probably would have helped Karen's look. But again, when it comes to Karen's look, I didn't like the dress. Charisse, her hair didn't bother me that much. It wasn't the best hair. But I think I like, Charisse's dress. That probably is what won me over with Charisse's look, her dress. I felt like it definitely accentuated her look. And she looked like she gave a fuck. That's just my opinion. But those are our reunion looks. This reunion, I mean, I already mentioned that the trailer seemed to be very just not as entertaining. It was kind of boring. Um, I don't know if Bravo's opting to having more watered down reunion trailers just because they don't want to give so much of the reunion in the trailer. They want to kind of, keep us on our toes. But it was just like, I'm just ready for this all to end. I'm not that excited. And probably explains why I'm just having just this kind of meh, reaction when it comes to this. And normally I'm excited about the reunions. I was very excited for last season's reunion. This season, not so much. I don't know. I mean, I know we're gonna get into more of this Chris situation. And apparently Jacqueline shows up with receipts regarding Mia. So that's interesting. Of course, we're still dragging out this whole Sharice and Karen thing. Nobody gives a care about that. Yawn, yawn, and more yawns. We're briefly bringing up, and that's even if it's brief, it could drag out, who Giselle's seeing and who Ashley was seeing from Winter House. And I don't even watch that show like that. I only watch clips, that and Summer House. But apparently, Giselle was dating the black guy from there. And as we all know, Ashley was dating Luke. But it's still very much yawn. And I don't give a care. Yeah. I'm just ready for Potomac to go off the air. And I don't know what Housewives show is supposed to be replacing it in that Sunday night slot, because I don't think Atlanta's expected to come back for at least a little bit. Jersey's back on, but that's on the Tuesday night slot. Miami, we know, is on Peacock. Ultimate Girls Trip definitely is not going to move over to Bravo. That's going to continue to be on Peacock, and it's not going to come on Sundays. So I don't know what they're going to replace Potomac with. Yeah, there's OC, but doesn't OC come on Mondays? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments section after this live is ended, because I'm actually about to end the live. I don't think there's much else to talk about. I've felt as though I have made my peace with this season. I more so really wanted to come on here and just, let y'all know that I have been watching it and, talk about some of the things that I did not like this season, which has ultimately made me feel like I'm ready for it to end. And this is usually what happens when we get closer to the end of the season. We do start getting that much more ready for something else. But yeah, JBs, it's just nothing else I can really say about it. And I spent this whole time here talking by myself about it. And it's all good, because what y'all do is y'all watch the replay of this, the good old playback of this. Y'all leave y'all's comments. Let me know what y'all specifically think about the season as a whole. How are y'all feeling going into the reunion? If you are excited about the reunion, it's okay if you're excited. I'm not. But if you are, hey, the more the merrier. It is what it is. You are entitled to be excited. I'm just not excited. I'm just actually anticipating what the next Housewives show. I'm anticipating what a newer Housewives show is going to be on the air during the Sunday night slot. It might not be anything. It might be a totally different Bravo show. They just normally have it to where when one goes off, another one comes on and replaces it. It's usually Atlanta, but I don't think Atlanta will be coming on anytime soon. Not right away. I could be mistaken. We're going to see, but I'm going to leave y'all with that. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go find something else to do. I do hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. At whatever time y'all do watch the playback of this, I do hope that y'all have a good rest of y'all's evening. And we'll be back on here for Miami. I might either go live again to talk about Miami on Wednesday or Thursday when the newest episode comes on. So it might be where I come on Thursday right after I watch the newest episode. So y'all stay tuned for that. And that's all I got for y'all. You know, I'm your boy J to the B here on J to the B TV. You know, I will be doing this each and every week. So make sure you come back for my realness, my shenanigans. And you know, yours truly, moi, duh.